Well, it's so exciting to be back here on this weekend, and this is the Gracious Hope Live podcast. My name is Pastor Alexander Red, and I'm glad that you are joining us here today. As always, we always welcome you in our company, and we have a lot to offer here today, and it's all about understanding Liberia's dual citizenship. Now, Liberia's dual citizenship policy has opened up exciting opportunities for Liberians living abroad and has brought numerous benefits to the country. By allowing individuals to maintain their Liberian citizenship while acquiring citizenship in another country, this policy has spurred investment, attracted skilled professionals, and fostered a cultural exchange. Additionally, dual citizenship or dual citizens can actively participate in the political processes of Liberia and their country of citizenship, ensuring diverse perspectives shape the nation's future. And this progressive approach strengthens ties between Liberians worldwide and offers new avenues for economic growth, knowledge transfer, and human rights protection. And so we're going to be delving deep into the advantages and positive impact of Liberia's dual citizenship policy because there are several advantages to Liberia's dual citizenship policy. One, it increases the investment opportunity. Now, dual citizenship allows Liberians living abroad to maintain their Liberian citizenship while also acquiring citizenship in another country. And this encourages diaspora Liberians to invest in their home country, contribute to its economy, and participate in its development. Now, it also brings to the brain gain. Now, dual citizenship attracts skilled Liberians living abroad to return and contribute their expertise to various sectors of the economy and also the health sector, the educational sector, technology, and entrepreneurship. That is the business community. And so this brain gain can help Liberia develop and bridge the skills gap within the country. Now, three, we'll look at remittances. Liberians abroad can send remittances back to their families in Liberia more easily now. And these remittances provide a significant source of income for many Liberians, contributing to poverty reduction and improving the standard of living for families back home. Four, cultural exchange and knowledge transfer. Now, dual citizenship fosters cultural exchange between Liberians living abroad and those in Liberia. Now, this exchange of ideas, experiences, and knowledge can positively impact the social and cultural development within the country. Five, it brings about political participation. Dual citizenships have the right, that is, dual citizens have the right to participate in the political systems of Liberia and their country of citizenship. And this allows them to engage in political processes, vote, and run for office, bringing diverse perspectives, skills, and experiences to the political landscape. Six, it brings about human rights protection. Now, dual citizens are entitled to the consular protection of both their countries and citizenship. And this ensures they can access consular services, including legal representation and assistance and in case of emergencies or legal issues. Overall, dual citizenship in Liberia promotes investment, knowledge transfer, cultural exchange, and political participation while providing additional rights and protections to Liberians living in the diaspora or abroad. And so it is very important that we talk about dual citizenship so that our fellow citizens, those living abroad and back home, can understand the nuances involved in dual citizenship. I know it has been debate for years and it has been back and forth in the court, but we know that in on December the 23rd in 2019, there was this case brought by an individual who is a citizen of another country and to the Supreme Court, and he won that case because the court gives him the right to due process that is under the law. They have the right of due process when he is accused of not being a citizen, whereas he was born in Liberia. Yes, he must be given a due process. Overall, we know that President Weah signed a legislative order giving the full access or granting the full citizenship, dual citizenship to all Liberians. Liberians that are living abroad on July the 22nd of 2022, and that was the legislation that took place in the House of Representatives and the Senate, and it was finally signed by President George Weah. And so this was legislated as the final approval for dual citizenship in our country, Liberia. And today we are so privileged to have one of the fighters, or may I say, the brain behind dual citizenship. We know that it was conceptualized by the late Reverend Dr. Edwin Lord Sr., who passed away just quite recently in Maryland. But that dream has not died because our special guest today, Mr. Emmanuel S. Wetty, we call him the Eminent. He's the former president of EULA, and currently he is the chairman of the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. And so he will give us more insight on dual citizenship for some of you who don't understand the nuances involved, and so that you can be aware or may be aware of where we are right now. But before then, I will now bring on Reverend Suarez Dede. Reverend Dede is our co-host here, and Reverend Dede today is all about dual citizenship with our special guest, Eminent Emmanuel Wetty.
Wonderful. It reminds me of our dual citizenship in heaven. We are here and we have heaven. When we leave this place, we go to our home in heaven. So that is just a little similarity. But again, we bless God for this day. This is the day He's made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it no matter what comes our way. We are glad to have the eminent. He's been working hard with former Ambassador Nathaniel Bounce. In fact, I was at a program and I heard the eminent Wetty referring to Ambassador Bao as the ambassador of dual citizenship. I think I recall I was there. So if I'm wrong, he will correct me today. And indeed, Nathaniel Bounce worked very hard. Other ambassadors did, but he stood out. And Emmanuel has been on the forefront of this battle. I was sort of battle, I would say, a struggle for the right thing to be done for Liberians who are not in the country and who want to benefit, help the country. They are denied by this situation where they are not citizens of their own country, even though they were born there, maybe born in a country to two Liberian parents, but they were denied. So he worked hard to make this thing come to pass. It took some long interactions with the powers that be or that were. And so we're here today. We want to discuss this thing. Still, some of us still don't believe, Alex, that we have the dual citizenship law in order. In place. Some of us don't know. And so he's come to really enlighten our minds to open our understanding and answer the question we may have. So we are glad to have him, Alex. Welcome too, Alex.
Thank you, thank you. And without any wasting time, we'll now bring on our special guest, Mr. Emmanuel Wetty. Mr. Wetty, would like to say welcome to the Gracious Hope Live podcast this Saturday. And we are so excited to see you here join our conversation or discussion regarding our homeland, Liberia, and the dual citizenship issue that has been brewing for years and years. And finally, it's all victory. So we are glad that you are here in the studio with us today.
Well, I'm very thankful that you guys, I'm sharing the platform with great people like you guys. I know Alex, I know Swa, we all come very long way. It's an honor to be on the platform. And thanks to our supporters in Radio Land, and thanks to our Heavenly Father who have made everything possible on this day.
Yes, Mr. Wetty, I know you are known as eminent. You are eminent in many ways because of your hard work, your dedication, your commitment, and your friends admire you for that. As former president of EULA, one of the biggest organizations for all Liberians here in the United States, you are working assiduously and want to first of all thank you for doing so and continue to do so. Even you retired from the state of Ohio's job, you retired, but yet you're still working, and so we admire your tenacity and your drive and things that you fight for, not just for yourself selfishly, but you do that for all Liberians. And so we just want to thank you, first of all, for that. And looking at this whole dual citizenship, I know you have been putting your heart into everything, collaborating with other brothers and sisters in other organizations, and even the former Ambassador Nathaniel Barnes and others. And even in Liberia, you have been invited with invitation to go there to look at to attend other events and other occasions. And you have been lobbying to make sure that the legislators understand that we Liberians living abroad can contribute immensely to the welfare of the country or rebuilding the country in this reconstruction process. And it worked. And so then let us understand for our viewers, they hear about dual citizenship over and over, but they may not understand the nuances here and there. Now, how did this whole thing start? Let's start from the beginning. How did it start to this victory for legislation finally?
Well, thank you very much for asking. I think you mentioned it started with the late Reverend Lord Benedict Wanda, the late Senator Manson from Maryland. They were the first group of people that started this whole movement. But then when they made a visit to Liberia, I think it was 2000, 2006, 2007, they didn't get no good feeling from the Franks. So, and these people, they are not of our age. They are all older people. And when they came back from Liberia, I got a call from my son to say, look, can you not take over the dual citizenship issue? But when I was president of the union in 2006, our focus was not dual citizenship. You remember, Alex, at the time, we had 10,000 Liberians that needed to be deported. TPS was expiring, and we needed to make sure that those Liberians on TPS remain in the country. So our focus was on immigration, and we were very successful that year to make sure that TPS was changed from TPS to DED, and those 10,000 Liberians, remain. Fast forward, many Liberian organizations, including the Liberians in Europe, the Federation, European Federation of Liberian Association, the Concerned Liberian, and EULA, everybody started going their separate way, advocating for dual citizenship. EULA would go to Liberia and advocate, the European would go to Liberia and advocate, different groups would advocate. So in 2012, December of 2012, Ambassador Jeremiah Solonte, along with EULA, we organized a dual citizenship conference in Washington, D.C. You have Liberians from Ghana, Liberians from Nigeria, from Australia, from Canada, Concerned Liberian Association. We all came together, and at that conference, it was decided that we will focus on advocating for dual citizenship. Now, the committee that was established from that conference is called the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. So our layer of operation is that you have the partners, and I'm the chairman for the conference. I carry on the day-to-day working of the conference along with the team and everybody. So we started 2012. We started advocating for dual citizenship 2012. The entire administration of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, we were promised. We went to Liberia. We met President Sirleaf in Europe. We met her in America. We met her in Africa. Everywhere she went. But, we were not successful to have it underneath her administration. However, in the same time that you mentioned, there's a guy that called Anthony Jallo, T.H. Jallo. Jallo, in 2017, challenged the constitutionality of the Alien and Nationality Law, Section 22.2. Jallo went for a passport, and he mentioned he's an American citizen, and they denied him a passport. They said, well, he's an American citizen. So Jallo went and said, look, hey, I need due process. He went to the Supreme Court, and Councilor Cyril Cooper was his counsel at the time, and they filed a complaint at the Supreme Court. And on December 23rd of 2019, the Supreme Court ruled in Jallo's favor that look, everybody is entitled to due process. If you claim that the man is not a Liberian, taking the court. So that's one victory we got from the legal perspective. But the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship, as I mentioned, comprises of EULA, Liberian, the European Federation of Liberian Association, Liberian Advocacy for Change, Liberian Association of Canada, United Liberians in Ghana, Liberians in Australia, and Colosua, Liberia on the west coast of the United States. We all work together day to day to advocate for dual citizenship. So we made a couple of trips to Liberia. And I want to say thank you to Councillor Ajibo Bona, who have been very, very instrumental in having this thing work. We want to say thanks to the Liberian Senate and Liberian House. We want to say thank you to everybody. However, we want to, on the Senate side, we want to recognize the pro tem for his hard work and leadership, Councillor Senator Vani Shema, Darius Dana, Meton Tiaje, Community Wise, and and the Batikwa. These were our agents. These were our champions of dual citizenship in the Liberian Senate. In the Liberian House, we have Akaras Gray, Fanati Kofa, the Speaker, and Kenneth Wasso, who's the chairman of the J Committee. These people work together to make sure that it passed. And President Weah was very instrumental. He makes sure that his legal advisor, Councillor Ajibo Bona, worked with both houses to make sure that we reconcile. So we all work together. We made a couple of trips, and as the issue went, it was passed in the House, and it was passed in the Senate. And President Weah signed it on July the 20th, July the
22nd.
Yeah, 2022. Now, what is in this law? So many people ask, what does it mean? First thing is that prior to this law, a child born by a Liberian woman is not a Liberian. Because you know that in Liberia, the citizenship of a woman does not pass citizenship over to a child. So after this law, any child that is born to a Liberian woman, that child is a Liberian at birth. Immediately. There's no if and there's no and.
And even if that person, if the dad is from a different country?
Yeah, different country. Now,
Okay.
if the dad, now the technical thing that we're having, which what I do know from the back is not yet official. The Senate, the Supreme Court, they're trying to prepare themselves just in case the father is a white person, because our Constitution says that to be citizen, you gotta be Negro or Negro descent. So we have a little bit of conflict right there. But however, it's a victory. We will take that for now. But any child that is born by a Liberian mother, irrespective of the nationality or the pigmentation of the father, that child is a Liberian at birth. The other thing is that we can vote. You can go to Liberia, register to vote, and participate in the political process.
Okay, just quick there. If the father is not of a dark-skinned Negro descent, can that child take part in the political process or be elected to a position in the government politically?
Yes, actually. Now that's why I just want to make sure I make it very clear. Okay. There is a committee that is studying that possibility. Yes, the law on a face value, we take the law as it is. But if you go further, yes, we are seeing that a child born by a Liberian woman is a Liberian at birth. However, if the father is white, now because of the mother, the child is a Liberian. Because of the mother, the child is a Liberian. And that child can participate. They have all rights as Liberian. However, let me go down to the positive thing. You can vote. You can participate in the political process. You can own a land in your own name. You can do investment in your own name. You have the right as a Liberian to do anything. The other good thing is that you can travel to Liberia without visa. All you need to do, all you need to have is a Liberian passport. So if you have a current Liberian passport and you have an American passport or Australian passport or German passport, you can use your Liberian passport to get on the plane and go to Liberia. And when you go to Liberia, all you have to do is to show the two passports, and they will stamp it, and you can come back to your country of other citizenship using the second passport. So it's a good thing. You don't like people that in California, people that in Alaska, they don't have to send they don't need visa. Just get your Liberian passport, and you can just get on the plane and just take a flight.
So let me just come in before I forget. Are you saying you can travel with two passports to Liberia?
Yes. Yeah. What you do is that take your when you go to, at the airline, you can't show two passports. So you have your American passport in your other pocket and just show your Liberian passport, and you will get your boarding pass and everything and walk and go to Liberia. Coming back, you can use your second passport. But when you get to Liberia, it has to be stamped. Your American passport and the Liberian passport have to be stamped to show that you're in Liberia.
But there's somebody and I were discussing this issue, and there was some little technicality or concern.
Okay.
And I want to bring it up so that we can decipher this. You are traveling to Liberia. You have two passports. Mm-hmm. You have to go to the airport and leave America. So which passport will the immigration at the airport be stamping for you to leave America to go to Liberia, and which passport they're going to stamp in Liberia for you to leave and return to America? So the person is a little concerned about that. Can you comment on that?
Yes, good. When you go to the airport, right? The immigration is the second part. The first person you meet at the airport is the airline. That's the first person. So at the airline, you show them your Liberian passport, and they will board you on the flight. Using your Liberian passport, they'll give you a ticket. Now, since you have your Liberian passport, you have the ticket, you will go to the immigration and show them that Liberian passport.
In Liberia?
In the States.
Okay.
In the States now.
Okay.
We're not talking about Liberia yet. Okay. In the States, you go to the airline, you go to the ticketing booth, you show your Liberian passport. Your current, it gotta be current. Your current Liberian passport, they will book your flight and everything. You get your flight information in, you get your ticket, you put your ticket into your passport, your Liberian passport, while your American passport is in your pocket. You go to the security, you go to the immigration, you show them your Liberian passport. And you go through the security booth, there'll be no problem. When you get to Liberia, when you go through, you show them both your passport, your American passport and your Liberian passport, because you have to stamp your Liberian passport to show that you're in Liberia. So when you're coming back, the immigration here will know that, oh, you're in Liberia. So that's how it works.
Wow, it's kind of a little interesting.
And yeah, it's been used. I mean, people are using it. Yeah, people are using it. Just make sure you get your passport.
Okay, so would the American immigration have problem of you being a citizen here and citizen in another country?
No. America. Reverend, that's a good question. We Liberians yet think that we are the only country that had dual citizenship. If you check it, we are the new kid on the block. Country be having dual. Ghana got dual citizenship. Nigeria got dual citizenship. Sierra Leone got dual citizenship. There are other countries that got dual citizenship. We are not the first. In fact, we are just the newest of the countries that had dual citizenship. So America recognized dual citizenship. As a matter of fact, on On March the 20th, in Pennsylvania, we had a program. The representative from the Biden administration came up and recognized us as Liberian American.
That's great. So someone who's watching us today, for clarity, and hearing you saying this to them for the first time, because some people don't know this whole issue that we are grappling with right now. So they hearing you saying, yes, you can travel with two passports, your American passport and your Liberian passport, your immigration first, or the airline, and then your ticket, everything, and go to the American immigration, showing your Liberian passport at the American
Correct.
immigration. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You show them because remember now, when you went to the ticketing booth or ticketing agent, you show them your Liberian passport.
Mm-hmm.
And based on that, they will not, because you're going to Liberia, that your own country is going to. So they can't ask you a visa. You know, so you take your ticket and put it in your passport and go to the immigration, and you show them the ticket with your Liberian passport, and you're going to go through security. From there, you get on the plane. When you get on the plane and you travel, when you arrive in Liberia, when you get to immigration, you can show them your passport, your American passport and your Liberian passport. They will stamp it. Because the reason why it's important that you do that, there are two ways. You either do it when you arrive, or when you're coming back, they'll have to stamp it. So when you come back to America, they will know that you were in Liberia, because the stamp there will show that you came from Liberia.
Okay, great.
Somebody had a situation where MNN, and I think I should just share this with you. They had a situation in Liberia where, according to them, I wasn't there. The immigration officer refused to stamp the American passport because the person entered with the Liberian passport, and the American passport was not stamped at the time of arrival at the airport in Liberia. So on departure, there was no stamp of entry into the country, so it was a problem for them. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't know whether it's after July 22nd or 2022.
Yeah, after that time. Yeah, after that time. Yeah.
Our recommendation to you, that there should be no problem. However, when you get to Liberia, show them your American passport at the door. Show them your passport, they will see it, they will stamp it. So this way, it will be easy. We are in direct communication with the Commissioner of Immigration, Robert Conor Robert. We are in direct communication with him. There is strict instructions to not bother anybody when they come with the American passport and Liberian passport.
But and that's good. That's good. I mean, we got to get more understanding with that, because I have to really understand why, if I'm a Liberian, and though I'm an American, I have my American passport, and I'm leaving this country going to Liberia, and I have a Liberian passport. Why not just show the Liberian passport to the immigration officer in Rabat International Airport in Liberia, and then let me go? Why do I have to show an American passport? But we'll be right back. Hold your thoughts. And also the disadvantages of being a dual citizen. We'll talk about that. And all of those who oppose that legislation for dual citizenship, why were they opposing it? The eminent Emmanuel Wetty is our guest, and he will be talking more about that when we return. We'll just take a break right now. And please share our link, okay? Share our link with your friends, your families, and your loved ones, as we all want them to be part of this program, and so that they can understand what we are talking about here. And you can hear us on all of these networks, 14 networks. If you can listen to the audio, they are all on demand. Look for Gracious Hope Bible Fellowship, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Streeters, YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. It's all free. And we'll be right back. Please. Okay, so we are back here with our special guest. We know dual citizenship. We have listed all of the positivity, that is everything that is positive about acquiring citizenship uh, in another country while you are a citizen in your original country, because it is a policy that is in place and it was signed by the current president, George Weah, after the national legislature approved it. That was back in 2022. And so, if you are living abroad, yes, Mr. Wetty is explaining the process of why you need to get your passport. That is the country in which you naturalized, and then your Liberian passport, and the whole process with immigration in Liberia. And we'll continue this conversation here now, looking at some of the other nuances. For example, Mr. Wetty, okay, I have my American passport and I have my Liberian passport, and I travel to Liberia. Why not just show the immigration officer, hey, I'm a Liberian, oh, this is my passport. I don't even have to even say that I'm an American citizen, but I just show my passport, Liberian passport, and then that's it. Then for me to show my American passport. I mean, that would be easy, huh?
Well, that's correct. But remember now, you're coming back to America.
Yes.
So the American immigration have to know where you came from.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, so that's the reason why you show your American passport, so the Liberian immigration can stamp your passport. And this way, the American, when you open your passport, they will know you came from this country or that country.
That's true. So, go ahead.
Then the other thing, some Liberians argue, well, if you look at my American passport, it says that my place of birth is Liberia. You understand? Mm-hmm. If you look at the American passport, there's a question that asks, your place of birth, it says Liberia. But let's get this straight. Your place of birth is not the same as your nationality. So yes, you can be born in Liberia. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a Liberian citizen. We need to get that. Mm-hmm. So, that's why they ask this question. So you can be born in Liberia, and we got to understand one thing. Liberia is not a birthright country. I want to repeat myself. Liberia, the Republic of Liberia, is not a birthright country. What is a birthright country? A birthright country, a country that when you're born, irrespective of your status, you are a citizen of that country. An example is the United States of America. Anyone that is born on the American soil, that child, that person is an American at birth. Liberia is not that way. In Liberia, your parents have to be Negro or of Negro descent. So if two white people have a child in Liberia, that child is not a Liberian. Such a person will have an American passport, and they will say, well, I was born in Liberia. Doesn't necessarily mean you're a citizen of Liberia. So we ourselves need to get it very clear. Being a citizen of Liberia, being born in Liberia doesn't necessarily mean you are a citizen of Liberia.
Good. Let me just follow up on that, Ellis, on Ellis' question for clarity. So Ellis is in Liberia. He shows, he's in America. He's living for America. He shows his Liberian passport, and immigration stamps it. And he gets to Liberia. He does not show the American passport. He shows the American passport, and it is stamped. So he returns to America now. As he comes back, the Liberian immigration will stamp the passport that you live in, and then back in America, you go with your Liberian passport to the American immigration, show them, because this time before you go to Liberia,
no,
they come back and say,
when you come into the American, don't care how you when you go in. They don't care. They don't bother you. They don't care when you're leaving. When you're coming back, it's the problem. So when you're coming back, because you cannot use the Liberian passport to come back, it doesn't have visa. So you use your American passport that they had to be stamped to show that you came from you came from Liberia. If it's them, you just get on the plane and come here, and life is good with you. You're welcome back home.
Good. I think the clarity. And Ellis, you can go ahead. You have
Okay, so now, what are those who oppose the whole dual citizenship? Because when from the outset, a lot of people oppose that. People who are in the House of Representatives and in the Senate, some of them, the legislators, some of them oppose it, and even ordinary citizens, some of them oppose that. What were the arguments? I mean, why were they opposing? What are some of the things that were arguing against dual citizenship for?
Alex, I want to. I feel I want to answer the question, but I feel sad answering the question. You know, the problem that we have in Liberia is us against them. Those that in Liberia take us differently. They think that we are coming to the country to take the resources and just name it, you know, from job, from this, from that, all kinds of things. Some of them ask questions, you can't serve two masters, you know, and it went on and on. And they talk about, like some of the questions they ask, if America and Liberia fighting war, whose side you be on? I mean, just all the kind of questions, you know. And they just on and on. They talk about patriotism. You know, look, you in Liberia doesn't necessarily mean you are more patriotic in Liberia than I am. You know, we all are Liberians. We all are Liberians. That country belongs to everyone else. So that was some of the fight. But also, we should understand that the man in Liberia too has the right for their own protection. Because some of the behavior of some of us in the diaspora, if we go to Liberia, like Eddie Cochran case, that one case that came up over and again. You guys will come here, see the money, and you get on the flight, come to America, and because of dual citizenship, you know, it's hard to get to you. So the Eddie Cochran thing, it really played out. But what we did, we were able to go back to them and say, look, and the other thing we had, and that was really against us, is that those that were against dual citizenship said that it was dual citizenship for white person, white men. And that thing resonated very well with ordinary Liberian. Oh, dual citizenship will mean the lonely people take our land, do this. So remember, we were defeated in the referendum. We came back, we said, look, we need to tell our people that this dual citizenship is for Koli that was born in Lofa, it's for Tama that was born in Lofa, it's for Namwe that was born in Sano or Grand Cru, it's for Manzo that was born in Cape Man, on and on. We begin to reach it to the people. We begin to tell them that, look, this dual citizenship law that you're opposing, it will impact you. Because what the law said is that if you fall war in another country, if you naturalize in another country, if you denounce the Liberian citizenship in another country, you are not a Liberian. Now, if you check the constitution of Liberia, only a Liberian can own the land. So what I mean, if I have my land in Liberia and I won the DV, I came here in America, I became an American citizen, legally I'm not a Liberian. If I'm not a Liberian, therefore I can't own the land. So many people are buying land through their relative and all those things. But we were saying that, look, why should I buy the land in the name of my relative? What happens if I pass away? What happens to my children in America? What happens to my children in Australia? What happens to my children in Canada? And we started going on. And the people that opposed it, yes, I didn't like the idea, but we have to understand that some of us were not acting right, and that brought fear in the people. And we're able to talk to our people, we're able to talk to them. And guess what happened? The people began to change their mind, and it was reflected in the lawmakers. As the view began to change, the lawmakers themselves began to change, and you know we got good rating. Now this law that it passed, when we're passing the House, they had no restrictions. When it got to the Senate said it must have some restriction. So yes, the law, I'm not going to come here to tell you say it's the best of the best, but it's a starting point, it's encouraging, and it's in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Advocacy is not an event. Advocacy is a process. We are happy with what we have. Others people can come after us and improve on it. So this law, if you are a dual citizen, if you decide that you want to keep your American citizenship, you cannot be Minister of Finance and Development, you cannot be Minister of Defense, and you cannot be Governor of the Central Bank.
Why they pick those particular institutions? Why?
I mean,
What the
honestly,
rationale?
I don't know.
Reverend Dada, we need to dig into that. Why are they picking on one of those other institutions and not all the other ones?
Yeah, so
that's not fair.
Now let me go back.
Go ahead.
If you go in the law also says that if I go for confirmation hearing, you can ask me the question. You can't ask me if I'm an American citizen. You can't ask that question. So that killed this portion. So if I go, I want to be the governor of the central bank or minister of defense or minister of planning, you can't ask that question during confirmation hearing. You can't ask the question. So that is fine in our favor. The next thing is that there are some elective positions that are restricted. If you have dual citizenship, if you want to keep your Liberian citizenship, I mean your foreign citizenship, that's it. You still want to keep your American citizenship. And I'm making a case, so I want to make sure I answer those things that I will make the real case I want to make.
Okay.
If you decide, let me emphasize, if you decide to hold your foreign nationality for a appointed position, you cannot be Minister of Defense, you cannot be Governor of the Central Bank, you cannot be Minister of Planning. The law also says you can't ask me.
And so this is spelled out in the law.
Yeah, it's in the law. It's in the law. I will show you. Then the law also says that if you have dual citizenship, you can't run for elected positions. So you can't be senator, you can't be representative. You can be president, you can be vice president. However, the law also says that if you want to run, you got 1 year between the time you made a decision to election to go through the legal process and renounce the other citizenship. Now, the decision from the Supreme Court on December 23rd, 2019 gave us a cover. The Supreme Court says that, well, if I say I'm an American citizen, or if you say I'm an American citizen, if you say I'm a German citizen, guess what happened? Only a court of competent jurisdiction can say I'm not a Liberian citizen. And the burden of proof is on you, it's not on me. So we believe that with the Supreme Court decision, we are covered. You know?
But this is ironic, eminent Wetty, because if you cannot ask me during my confirmation process whether I'm an American citizen or not,
how we know my status?
Yeah, how we know my status. And besides that, would it be implicitly known that yes, whoever is appointing you, like the president appointing you for that particular position, that person will be cognizant or aware that they cannot appoint you to be a minister of defense or minister of finance, right? So they will know from the beginning, from the get-go, that you, because you're American citizen, American citizen, they will not send you to the house for confirmation, because the law is there that you should not be minister in those areas. They will know that first. So then the nomination of anybody that with dual citizenship, whether it is by the president or any other person that requires confirmation, they will send you to a position, or will send you to the house, or give you a position that will be free of those institutions that are already spelled out, right?
But this is what happened though. the decision of the Supreme Court says that I am a Liberian until a court can say I'm not a Liberian.
Yeah, but you can get certain positions. You can run for elected positions, senator,
This-
representative.
Yeah, what I'm
president.
saying, you can't say that to me. You know?
Yeah, I
So
think it's
the
because
court-
of discrimination. I think they're trying to
the
avoid
The Supreme
discrimination.
Court is saying until a judge can say you are not a Liberian, you are a Liberian. And you have the full right to everything. So then, even if you know I'm a Liberian, you don't have the right to say I'm not a Liberian. Only a court can say that.
Only the court can say that. That's a due process. And the thing is like in America here, if you go for a job interview, and if you're old, they can't ask you, say, you can't ask you for your citizenship status or something like that because you're old, can't hire you. That's discrimination. I think they're trying to avoid that. But this is a legal, an impending legal fight in the future because there'll be some Liberians who are citizens in the United States or Europe or somewhere else who will be qualified, okay, to run that country as president. They have the ambition to run, to be president or vice president, or to be minister of defense, and they have the knowledge and the expertise and everything. And then you say because of a paper, and so that person can serve because that person might maybe sell the secret of the country to another country because he or she is from that country. I find that very ridiculous. But anyway,
Yeah, but what happened, Pastor? The law is the law.
Yeah.
The law says first thing you can ask me. First thing, don't tell, don't ask, don't tell. So if I go a confirmation hearing, right, you can ask that question. That's what the law says.
Okay.
Yeah. So then the other thing, on the other hand, the Supreme Court says that, hey, you are a Liberian until a judge can say you are not a Liberian.
And
Go ahead.
And what makes a whole difference in the world during this whole citizenship issue with the Nigerian? This guy was born in Nigeria, but he claimed that his parents, I think he has a root here in Liberia, and they appointed him chairman of the anti-corruption committee or commission, the LAC. What was that case? That case was something about how he must have doctored his paperwork or something. Can you clarify on it?
Yeah.
Or was that related to the dual citizenship issue?
Well, I would not go into his case. But I will go into what other people are saying. They are saying that dual citizen make natural born Liberian to be second-class citizen. Because let me tell you something. The Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, there's many of us do not know. Honestly, I can tell you.
You mean the 1986 Constitution?
Yes.
Okay.
It only guarantee natural born Liberian two positions. Only two positions. Our entire Constitution says that natural born Liberian can be president and be what? Vice president. Every other position that is in our Constitution, it says a Liberian. It did not say natural born Liberian. It says what? A Liberian.
Yeah.
Now, the question is there, who is a Liberian? We are two. Natural born, naturalized. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So per our Constitution, a Ghanaian can be Chief Justice of the Supreme Court if that Ghanaian is naturalized. Per our Constitution, a Nigerian can run to be in the Senate or in the House. So those people that are against our dual citizenship law, they say, wait a minute. If colleagues that were born in Lofa, who went to school in Vonjima, came to America, naturalized, he goes to Liberia, he can't get a job. However, a Nigerian who was born in Nigeria, come and naturalize, can get a job. Now, It's interesting the way we Liberians twist the fact. The law says a Liberian. The law did not say a natural born Liberian or a natural life Liberian. So when people are confusing it, they say, oh no, we the natural born Liberian are second-class citizens, which is not true. This law that was signed by President Weah did not say natural born Liberian. It says a Liberian with dual citizenship cannot hold certain positions. So it includes a Liberian, include natural born and naturalized.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not second-class citizens, as many of our opponents, our critics are saying. You have to read the law. You have to read the law, and you have to read the law.
But somebody will argue on the opposite end. Now that if we go by your explanation, which you took from the law and the Constitution, why pose restriction then on dual citizens for certain positions when a Liberian, besides being president, vice president, a Liberian can occupy those positions, governor or senator, representative. So then why impose on the dual citizenship the restriction that they cannot occupy those positions, defense minister, governor, and senator and representative? Why that restriction in the face of Liberian?
What I'm saying, my argument here is that a natural born Liberian is not a second-class citizen.
Agreed. Okay.
Now,
Agreed.
the issue of restriction maybe is the thought process of the lawmakers, you know. And let me be honest and be on the record. And I stand corrected today, tomorrow, or anytime. When we did our research, we found out that there's only one country in this world. We could be wrong. Only the state of Israel has dual citizenship without restriction. Every other country that got dual citizenship got restriction. Ghana got restriction. Nigeria got restriction. Sierra Leone got restriction. Everybody got some kind of restriction. And if you check the law, our restriction is nothing. In fact, in Ghana, even a corner in the military, you can't have dual citizenship. We didn't even go that level. So there is some restriction. Only, and I stand corrected, Pastor. I mean, a man of God, I stand corrected. But when we started working, we found that only Israel had dual citizenship without restriction. Once a Jew, always a Jew. It doesn't matter where you're born.
Wonderful. But let me go back on Ellie's question though, and I like how you answered the question. So Ellie's question was, who are those who oppose the law? You answer everything else, but not the name. So maybe that's a reason why you already have the law, so you don't want to go back to. I mean,
you know, Alex. When we went to Liberia, those that oppose the law are our friends that we went to school with. Those that went to the same churches with us. Those that we ate with at the university. The people that had the resentment against us and them. Those were the people. And I will come here. The Liberian Council of Churches have never supported us. Even during the referendum, they said, oh, you can't serve two gods. Bishop Brown was very much against us. But you know, we're not here to call names and all those things, but the institution there was so much, and like I said, you got to understand from their point, too. Some of our friends were not behaving well. Some people that had jobs in Liberia, instead of being part of the solution, they were part of the problem. So some people were not showing good resentment. However, let's be honest. Let's come down to the deal. Some of the argument they have with us, they say, oh, when you guys see in America, you guys will take the plane and come. Look, corruption got nothing to do with citizenship. Corruption is based on your character.
Mm-hmm.
Those who see you, like the kids at the airport with any Cochran, there were other Liberians, local Liberians that were involved. and they were right in Liberia. Those that steal or those that corrupt in Liberia are just local people. It got nothing to do with citizenship. You know, they presented it in a way that only we with dual citizenship are the corrupt one, and those who are only Liberians, which is not true.
Yeah.
So they found out later on that look, citizenship got nothing to do with character, corruption got nothing to do with citizenship. Corruption got to do something with your character. So we're able to distinguish the both, and people begin to understand. But I do appreciate the Liberian people. After many advocacy, many times, they begin to realize that, oh, hey, these guys, our brothers and sisters, they only left from here for during the war, and they went to a country and they made decisions that were in the interest of the family. So let us welcome them back. It took a while, but they accepted us. And it was reflected in the very interview. You know, when we went for interview from the beginning, it was terrible on the air. Oh man, all the negative thing. But after many years, it began, with the simple, we all the same Liberian. And once a Liberian, always a Liberian begin to talk of the time. You know, because we're able to tell them that, look, this law is not for white, it's for my Musu that were born here before. You know, and you have to understand something. One thing that I learned in advocacy is that you can find your answer in those that are opposed to you. Honestly, I can tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Listen to those people. If you listen to them, you can say, oh, I see where I'm wrong. But when we went, they said, oh, this thing was all white people thing. White people, you want to be white people in the country. It took us a while to say, well, wait a minute, isn't that what we're trying to do? This law is not for white people. This law for us. And we start relating it to them. Then they begin to understand. Oh, okay. Yeah, but then we say, look, wait a minute. Are you telling me your sister that in America or your sister in Australia, she's not Liberian? Oh, no, that Liberian one. Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, doing the grassroots approach help. Grassroots communication help.
Yeah, grassroots communication help.
And that's good. That was a very good strategy, Mr. Wetty. Okay. And so as we conclude now this podcast here, what will be your summary or your final word to Liberians who are still skeptical, and for those who have embraced it fully, that yes, dual citizenship will have that mutual benefit because it is a progressive approach to strengthening ties between Liberians worldwide. And then it also offers new avenue for economic growth, knowledge and transfer of knowledge, and human rights protection. What will you tell those people about
I just want to let everybody know that Liberia is our country. We can't surrender the country. Nobody will face that country except us. Now we have dual citizenship. We legally have right to that country. Our citizenship are being restored. Let us return home. The brain drain. Let replace the brain gain with brain drain. Let us take our resources home and help build our country. We cannot surround it to other people. You know, we will have to develop the country. Our children will have to come in. We will have to be involved. So our appeal, now that we have the right to participate in the political process, let's make the right decision. Let's return home, you know, and share our knowledge and share our resources with our people. Nobody will build Liberia besides us. Nobody. We have to accept it. You know, there's one tendency, the foreigners are taking all the businesses. Yeah, because you allowed them to do it. You're not there. You have to go there and be in competition with people. You know, so my appeal to everybody is that let us go back home as a teacher, as an engineer, as a doctor, as a business executive, as anything that you have. Go home and share your resources to help our country. I want to say thanks to President George Manuel Weah for his leadership on this thing. When President Weah took over from the beginning of the administration, he stuck with dual citizenship. I want to thank Councillor Ajibo Bonan, who represented President Weah in the whole struggle, members of the House, members of the Senate, members of the House and members of the Senate. I want to thank all of our partners and our friends, our sympathizer, the men of God, people that supported us, the spiritual prayer, the support, people that did everything. And today we are very proud to say, once a Liberian, always a Liberian. Now, what we did may not be the best. What we can say we're proud that we are on the right direction and people can come after us and improve on it. Advocacy is not an event, it's a process. Moses did not enter the promised land with the children of Israel. It was Joshua. Other generations can come up and continue the advocacy. Now that we can go home and vote, the next advocacy is other country voting. If the Ghanaians can vote here in America, we can do the same. So that's the next level of advocacy. I will not be there because I've done the things since 2012 and my days are numbered to lead the diaspora leadership. But may God bless every one of us. Liberia is our home. Let us return home and share our resources for development and national security. But we can't surrender Liberia to anyone.
We will not. And thank you, Eminem Emmanuel S. Wetty. We appreciate your appearance today to at least explain, not just to us here in the studios, but to our citizens, fellow brothers and sisters who are living globally, to understand the whole process. And hopefully they will play this video over and over just to dissect some of the things that they didn't understand, so that they will be able to understand pretty well as they plan to increase that visibility in our country. We know that Liberia's dual citizenship policy has opened up exciting opportunities for all Liberians living abroad. And of course, it has numerous benefits. And so let us take advantage of that. As the eminent Wetty said, it's our country, and we can't be here until we get older and remain in the nursing home. We have to go back home. That is a reality. It's our country. We need to build it now. And we have this opportunity that is open. And so acquiring citizenship in our country and also here will help us to connect as brothers and sisters of the motherland. All right. Thank you, Mr. Wetty, for coming today.
Thank you very much. I want to say thank the staff. I want to say thank to Aswa and everybody, Alex, everybody that made this thing possible. So you guys, thank you. I'm welcome. I'm open to meet you guys anytime. And, I hope that we can do another show that will be live where people can call in and ask questions. So anytime, just let me know.
Sure.
And the next one, we'll discuss your faith journey.
Yes. Your faith, because we want to know how your faith in Christ has brought you thus far because of your consistency in advocacy.
No, not today. I know you read it.
I know.
Yeah.
I said,
I'll tell you one thing before we end. You have to be a man of God.
Yes.
To have the courage. It was only God. I'm telling you, some days, you talk to your own family and they denounce you. Only God can give you that strength. That's another topic for another day.
Another day.
Okay. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll call you back in here.
Yeah. Call me back.
Focus on your faith.
There is a God. That's all I can tell you. There is a God.
Amen.
Yes,
Amen.
there's a journey.
Amen.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wetty, for coming. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Eminent.
Yeah, thank you guys very much.
Okay.
All right. And this is how we conclude our podcast here for today. It was a joy, and we had some exciting time with Mr. Wetty, who took his time to explain about dual citizenship. And if you have any questions, yes, you can contact us and we'll be able to connect you with Mr. Wetty for more clarity if you need so. Until then, my name is Pastor Alexander Red and Reverend Suarez Dede. And Reverend Dede will be here tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time with his Bible study. You can join then. It's going to be live on Facebook and YouTube, as well as LinkedIn and other network connections. Until then, may you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday. Take care.